Okay, so this is basically the same tutorial I just did for using Cinema 4D, but um, setting this up in Blender. So I've exported this scene as best I could using the USD file format, something I'm going to be researching a little bit more. So I have this in Blender, and I want to show a few little things that I've tweaked in here. So one thing, I guess, right off the bat, is I had an object in here called hide walls, and these are the ones that are, uh, well, let's show it in a render. Okay, so here's my scene, and I have a light coming in from the window here, and then I have some walls in here on the one side to block the light but not be seen. So the way that I dealt with that, and it shows the object, I went into its object properties, and down here at the bottom under visibility, there's a ray visibility. I turned to the camera. So there's that part of the cube blocking it. So if I just turn that off, it's no longer there. So that's where to find that within um, Blender's setup instead of using the Redshift uh, render object tag on there. So that's the first one. Um, the lighting is created by, I had a background and I clicked on this and I chose a sky texture. I'm sure there's probably a way to do it, but I don't have this set up so that it can do both a sky texture and environment texture like I did in Cinema 4D. Um, I guess I could just use the environment one and create a direct light and color it the way I want, but this is giving me good enough results. I'm not too worried about it, but that's where the lighting was created for this scene. The last thing is I have, um, just as I did in the Cinema 4D scene, I had created I duplicated the piece of glass that I had in there. I think I accidentally hit it, and so when I used the USD, it did transfer over. But um, really, what I want is it to look like there's illumination coming into the scene. So I created just a polygon plane that's just sitting there. Looks like maybe I need to scale it up just a little bit. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, not hide walls. I wanted this thing. Yeah, let's just move it over just a little bit. Make sure it's covering the walls right. Okay, so you can see right here that no light is making it into the scene because this is blocking it. So again, I'm going to go into its attributes for the shading, and I'm going to tell it not to shadow in rays. So when the rays are being calculated from something, it will not calculate any rays for shadowing. Right, so that sits out there. Again, it just has a material that's giving that brightness. I could put an image on it if I wanted to, right? And just put it in the emission channel. So that would do the illumination. Okay, so this looks pretty good. I don't think I'm going to worry about any of these other little. Oh, the last thing too is if in your, where was this? Within the surface shader here, I could tell it not to be visible to the camera, and that would still illuminate the scene, but I wouldn't see the sky shader in my background. So if I wanted to, I guess I could render that out and put a different color in there. It doesn't have, as far as I can see, a way to um, add just a color to the camera. You can go to the camera and turn on background images, and you could add a background image here that's just a solid color. Maybe there's a way to, yeah, so it's just seeing all those textures in there that I'm not really, I don't want to do that. Okay, depth of field in this one is not really turned on. Maybe try to do that. But I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, and then the last thing would just be, we're going to use cycles and the GPU compute. Make sure, please, that you're doing that. And if you have not already, make sure in the preferences that it's using metal and the whatever the GPU is that you're using at home, or if you're using the NVIDIA card or whatever, you still have to set that. So make sure that it's a GPU compute, not CPU. CPU bad for using cycles. And then the last thing is the render size, right? So this would be 3000 by 3000. And there's your that render set. I'm just going to put it, actually, let's do, oops, 1000 by 1000. And we'll just render an image. We'll let Blender work on that. Again, when Blender does not use buckets, it's using kind of like the progressive renderer and just continually refining the ray samples and sampling over and over again. Blender is fairly quick on the Mac. It's been optimized for using metal. And I have an Ultra, so it has a fair number of GPU cores, and it's doing a pretty good job. Okay, 6.5 minutes. I apologize for the audio. I had to use my headphones and have my fancy microphone set up. Anyways, but that should do it. Okay.